Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to tour one of the most quirky, crowded, colorful places that is full of history, the Key West Cemetery in Key West, Florida. The cemetery is located at the center of Old Town, halfway between the historic Key West Seaport and the West Martello Tower. It has several entrances, but you should make a point to start at the northwest corner at Passover Lane and Angela Street, because a small office there has excellent free walking tour guides. With a walking tour guide in hand, the cemetery reveals fascinating stories of Key West and its people. The cemetery was founded in 1847 after a terrible hurricane in October of 1846 washed away the old cemetery, scattering the dead throughout the forest. As a result, the oldest gravestones in the cemetery, built on the highest point in Key West now, are actually older than the cemetery itself. They date to 1829 and 1843 and were moved here after the hurricane. There are few trees in the cemetery, and most graves are above-ground vaults like in New Orleans, and for the same reason, the high water table. The cemetery is like a town of narrow streets. Instead of houses, there are rows of whitewashed rectangular boxes. Instead of people, there are chickens and iguanas. It's weedy and overgrown, with a forlorn air of a forgotten place. Amid the sun-washed vaults, there are lovely statues of angels and lambs and an odd one of a naked, bound woman. A prominent monument is to the Uss Maine, which was blown up in Havana Harbor in 1898, killing 260 American sailors. 24 of these dead are buried here, along with other veterans of the Spanish-American War. An iron fence and gate brought from Washington, D.C. protects the neat, grassy yard. A poignant story that reminds us of Key West's southern history is represented in the grave of Manuel Cabeza, who died in 1921. The World War I vet had a relationship with a mixed-race woman and was tarred and feathered by the Ku Klux Klan for it. In retaliation, he shot and killed one of his persecutors on Duval Street on Christmas Eve, 1921. The next day, a posse removed Cabeza from jail, lynched him, and shot him. Key West's Cuban heritage is strongly evident, with a section devoted to those who fought and died in the 1868 Cuban Revolution. There are graves with familiar names that now mark key sites in Key West. Ellen Mallory. Mallory Square is named for her son, Secretary of the Confederate Navy. And William Curry. The family's Curry Mansion is a popular historic bed and breakfast. There's a grave of the real Sloppy Joe Russell, 1889 to 1941, who was Ernest Hemingway's fishing guide and a famous Key West bartender. Not all the interesting graves are old. Here's an example of some of the newer ones. Edwina Lara, 1923 to 1986, has her gravestone forever marked, devoted fan of singer Julio Iglesias. Wilhelmina Harvey, 1912 to 2005, was the first woman juror in Key West and local elected official whose grave gives her the title Admiral, Conch Republic Navy. A popular stop is BP, Pearl Roberts, 1929 to 1979, who famously had inscribed on her grave, "I told you I was sick." Nearby Gloria M. Russell, 1926 to 2000, notes, "I'm just resting my eyes." The Historic Florida Keys Foundation offers walking tours of the cemetery twice a week for a fee. For further information and reservations, call 1-305-292-6718 or email hfkf@bellsouth.net. I found this article online written by Bonnie Gross of the Florida Rambler. Bonnie is co-founder, and she spent 4 decades searching for places to enjoy the natural beauty and fascinating history of Florida. After a long career at the Sun Centennial, including an executive producer of its website, She started sharing her experiences here in 2010. She lives in Fort Lauderdale with her husband and travel partner, David Blasco.